What if I told you that a tiny creature, no bigger than your hand, nearly vanished from the Netherlands, taking an entire ecosystem down with it? By the late 20th century, fewer than 10 common hamsters known locally as korenwolves remained in the wild. But what happened next wasn't just about saving a species. It was about revitalizing landscapes, restoring balance, and showing that even the smallest lives can spark monumental change. How could this go bad? A perfect storm of decline. It's almost ironic. The common hamster, a symbol of adaptability, came perilously close to extinction. So, what happened? The answer lies in a series of human-driven changes that created a nightmare scenario for these little rodents. First, industrial farming swept through Europe, transforming diverse rural landscapes into vast stretches of monoculture crops. These fields offered none of the rich variety of food and shelter the hamsters once relied on. Burrows were crushed by heavy machinery, and pesticide use turned the fertile grounds into poisonous traps. With fewer places to hide, predators like hawks and foxes began picking off the already shrinking population. By the 1990s, the Netherlands faced a sobering reality. The common hamster was almost extinct. This wasn't just a loss for the species. It was a red flag for the entire ecosystem. Hamsters are an umbrella species, meaning their survival supports countless other animals and plants. When the hamsters disappeared, it left a void that rippled through Limburg's environment. Step 1. Breeding a new generation. When scientists in Limburg realized the urgency of the situation, they knew that saving the hamsters would require bold and immediate action. The first step, boosting their population through a carefully controlled breeding program. This wasn't a simple, put them together and hope for the best scenario. Conservationists built specialized breeding centers designed to mimic the hamster's natural habitat, from temperature and humidity levels to the specific types of grains and seeds they'd encounter in the wild. Every detail was accounted for, but one of the biggest challenges was genetic diversity. With fewer than 10 wild hamsters left, the risk of inbreeding loomed large. Scientists meticulously matched pairs, tracking genetic profiles to ensure the health and adaptability of future generations. The result? Every spring, a new generation of hamsters emerged from these centers, not just ready to survive, but to thrive. Before their release, the hamsters underwent rigorous preparation, often described as wild boot camp. They learned essential survival skills like foraging, burrowing, and evading predators. Simulated threats, such as hawk shadows or fox scents, were introduced to teach them how to stay vigilant. By the time they were released, these hamsters were more than ready to face the wild. Step 2. Building a hamster-friendly world. Even with the best training, released hamsters wouldn't stand a chance without suitable habitats. So, conservationists turned their attention to the landscape itself, transforming farmlands into hamster havens. This required close collaboration with local farmers, who played a critical role in creating hamster corridors, patches of farmland filled with wildflowers, grains, and other plants that the rodents could feed on. Pesticides were banned in these areas, and heavy machinery was restricted to prevent the destruction of burrows. One farmer's dedication even earned him the prestigious European Hamster Trophy last year, after discovering numerous burrows on his land. This highlighted the importance of providing food and shelter for the hamsters. Shelter remains crucial, as it protects the rodents from predators like buzzards, herons, and foxes. The current program has established around 750 hectares of hamster-friendly habitat where the species can live and hibernate in underground burrows relatively safely. The human side of conservation. The human side of conservation played a pivotal role in saving the common hamster. While breeding programs and habitat restoration were essential, engaging the local community proved equally critical. Conservationists worked to change perceptions, showing farmers and residents the value of protecting these small creatures. Farmers became key allies, adopting sustainable practices like planting hamster-friendly crops and avoiding pesticides. Schools introduced programs to educate children about biodiversity and the hamster's role in the ecosystem, fostering a sense of responsibility in future generations. By uniting science, community efforts, and education, the common hamster's survival became a shared mission for all. Farmers as heroes in Limburg. Farmers transformed from being seen as part of the conservation problem to becoming key allies in the solution. The government provided subsidies and incentives, encouraging them to adopt practices that supported hamster survival. These included leaving field edges untouched, planting crops that served as food for hamsters, and reducing pesticide use. Over time, many farmers embraced their role as stewards of the hamsters' recovery, taking pride in their contribution to conservation. This collaboration proved that agriculture and environmental preservation can coexist, creating a model for balancing human activity with the needs of wildlife. Educating the next generation. The common hamster also became a symbol of ecological awareness for Limburg's youth. Schools embraced the Koren wolf as a teaching tool, integrating it into lessons on biodiversity and sustainability. Children learned how even the smallest creatures play a vital role in ecosystems and how their actions could make a difference. By fostering this connection at an early age, Limburg ensured that the next generation would carry forward the lessons of conservation. A costly but worthwhile effort. Saving the common hamster has not come cheap. By 2010, the program had already cost €2 million, and the expenses have since ballooned to tens of millions. Critics have questioned whether such efforts are worth the price, especially when resources could go toward more pressing issues. However, the results speak for themselves. The project hasn't just saved the common hamster, it has revitalized entire ecosystems. Fields that were once lifeless monocultures now buzz with life, supporting biodiversity and sustaining local agriculture. Farmers and scientists alike point to this project as a success story for balancing conservation with human needs. The challenges ahead. Despite these victories, the battle to save the common hamster is far from over. While conservation efforts have been monumental in reversing the decline, the species still faces a host of ongoing threats that endanger its fragile recovery. Predators, such as foxes, buzzards, and other birds of prey, continue to pose a significant danger to released hamsters. With their natural habitats diminished, these predators are increasingly drawn to areas where hamsters are reintroduced, heightening the risks to the population. Additionally, smaller predators like weasels and snakes, which can infiltrate burrows, add another layer of danger to their survival. However, it's not just predation that threatens these resilient rodents. Environmental challenges caused by climate change are an ever-growing concern. Warmer winters, for instance, have disrupted the hamster's natural hibernation cycles. Hibernation, a critical survival mechanism, relies on consistent cold temperatures to trigger and sustain the process. When winters are mild or erratic, hamsters may wake prematurely, burning through their energy reserves before food becomes available in the spring. This leaves them vulnerable to starvation, dehydration, or exposure to the elements. Conversely, harsh winters with sudden temperature drops can result in freezing burrows, causing fatalities among the hibernating hamsters. Flooding, another consequence of climate change, also poses a grave threat. Heavy rainfall, which has become more frequent and intense in recent years, can inundate burrows, leaving hamsters without shelter. These flooded habitats force the animals to seek safety above ground, where they become easy prey. Dwindling food supplies caused by changing weather patterns further exacerbate the situation. Prolonged droughts can reduce the availability of seeds and grains, while unseasonal frosts can destroy the vegetation hamsters depend on for sustenance. To combat these challenges, conservationists are working tirelessly to refine their strategies. Habitat restoration efforts are continually evolving, with a focus on creating environments that are more resilient to climate change. For instance, the design of hamster-friendly habitats now incorporates elevated areas to mitigate the risk of flooding, as well as more diverse vegetation to ensure year-round food availability. Meanwhile, breeding programs have become increasingly sophisticated, simulating complex, real-world conditions to better prepare hamsters for life in the wild. These programs introduce the animals to a variety of controlled threats, such as predator decoys and fluctuating weather patterns, to enhance their survival instincts. Despite these efforts, the unpredictable nature of climate change remains a formidable obstacle. Conservationists stress that a broader commitment to addressing global warming is essential. as the survival of the common hamster and countless other species ultimately depends on the stability of our planet's ecosystems. The road ahead is uncertain, but the determination to protect these small but significant creatures remains unwavering. Only through continued innovation, collaboration, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all life can we hope to secure a future for the common hamster in the face of such daunting challenges. The story of the common hamster isn't just about saving a tiny rodent. It's a testament to what humanity can achieve when science, community, and determination come together. Limburg's efforts remind us that no species is too small to matter, and every act of conservation has ripple effects that benefit us all. But this story doesn't end here. Conservation isn't just the responsibility of scientists or governments. It's something we can all contribute to, whether it's supporting sustainable farming, protecting local wildlife, or simply sharing stories like this one. Every small action counts. So what do you think? Is the Corn Wolf's comeback a cause for celebration? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're inspired by tales of resilience and recovery, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us as we explore the incredible stories of species fighting for survival and the people making it possible. Together, we can make a difference, one creature at a time.